Obi-Wan Kenobi has long commenced the training of the Skywalker children, who were raised under the Organa name. Luke and Leia have both taken the training as serious as any other endeavor that they have encountered in their life. But the training was far different than that of the Jedi Order of old. Kenobi had to teach through journeying, taking the son and daughter of his old friend across the galaxy, studying and learning in the old ways of the Force. All the while, the two children came to realize that the Empire had ruined the ways of life for so many across the galaxy. Nevertheless, their training had to continue, and Obi-Wan knew where their journey would take them next. In the studies that you two have undertaken, have you come across the planet of Jedha? Obi-Wan rummaged around the corner of a ship that he had used to take the Padawans across the galaxy. He awaited an answer, mostly hoping that neither of the two had slackened off in recent days. It was the location of the first Jedi Temple, built not shortly after the one on Typhon. Leia answered with great confidence, shining a smirk to her brother, who responded with a more loving eye roll at his sister's intelligence. It's also where we're headed. This'll be a learning experience for all three of us, for I haven't been there myself either. We're in search of an old holocron that will certainly help in your teachings. Obi-Wan watched, surprisingly, as Luke took the Skywalker saber in hand, placing it at his side. I didn't realize you had already claimed ownership, Luke. It fits him far more than me, Master Kenobi. As you said, I have my own in due time. But what else can you tell us about Jedha? Leia took no problem with Luke wielding the lightsaber that Kenobi told them belonged to their father. She could sense that her brother had a far greater calling to the weapon, as could Luke himself. She was more interested in what was leading them to Jedha. In recent years, it's fallen under strict gaze of the Empire, as did any planet of importance to the Jedi Order. It'll be tough getting in, but I do have an idea. We'll all, however, must be prepared for whatever happens. Luke and Leia almost had a jolt of excitement at the prospect of finally encountering Imperials during their training, for they all knew something was drastically wrong once the ship that carried them to the planet arrived with no interference. Master Kenobi. Luke peered out the viewing scape of the shuttle. I thought you said the Empire was here. It looks like no one is here. Because there isn't. Obi-Wan could sense that the planet was void of human life, that not a single soul occupied the ground surface of the planet, something that went against the prior knowledge of what he knew. I had heard the planet was populated. Now it just seems dead and abandoned. We're going down there. The shuttle headed down towards the surface, and what they saw brought an emptiness that could be shared across all three individuals. The planet's surface had come undone. Rubble and debris where Jedha City once stood was reverted to ash. Dust storms could be seen in the distance, with bolts of lightning jolting from cloud to cloud. What in the blazes happened here? This isn't natural. You don't think the Empire did this, do you? They don't have this much power. It couldn't be possible. Leia watched over the planet as the ship glided slowly over what remained. Kenobi had planned to step from his ship, but readings showed that the air was still tingling with toxic levels of radiation, something Kenobi couldn't help but think was the Empire's doing. It was then that a transmission from Bail Organa reached the shuttle, and Kenobi was shocked to hear from the Viceroy of Alderaan.
Master Kenobi, I feared this day would come, but everyone knew it would eventually. War with the Empire has become a reality. As I speak, the rebellion is scattering after invasion on an Imperial planet. They had learned the Empire developed a planet killer, and we're doing our best to stop it. I know it's been some time and you are tasked with training Luke and Leia, but I need you. The rebellion needs you. I'm headed back to Alderaan to prepare my people for possible retaliation from the Empire. I hope this reaches you.
Kenobi's face held pure fear as he realized what he saw at Jeddah was the Empire's doing. Luke and Leia, however, shared a sense of bewilderment. Father is with the rebellion. Luke found himself having to take a seat as Leia was simply speechless to everything that had just transpired. We must hurry to Alderaan. Obi-Wan was stern in his words as he prepped the ship for launch, back into the orbit around Jeddah. The grim reality of the state of the galaxy truly began to sit in for Luke and Leia. For years, they had no idea that their father had been orchestrating the rebellion, for they only had been suspicious. They had no idea if their father intended them to see that message either, and further wondered what war would be like and if they were meant to fight in it. Master Kenobi, what are we going to do? Luke was the only one able to find the wherewithal to ask questions, as Leia still sat speechless in the cockpit of the shuttle. I'm going to help however I can, though you two will still need to focus on your training. Do you understand? You won't be ready to fight in this conflict, at least not yet. It was one of the last words in Kenobi's sentence that echoed in Leia's mind. Conflict. She never expected to be fighting in a war against the Empire, but she suddenly realized something, an important step she had to take in her training. A lightsaber. I need to construct a lightsaber. Do you really feel you're ready for that? It's important, yes, but you've only done so much thus far. Leia snapped back with a yes, something Kenobi knew he wasn't going to be able to counter. Very well, but it must wait until after we have arrived at Alderaan. It was then that Obi-Wan seemed to have stood completely still, his only movement a grasp at his heart. Luke and Leia now grew concerned for their shared teacher as he sat down for a moment. I sensed a great deal of suffering. I felt a wave of fear reach over me that sounded like a symphony of screams, then silence, as if they were wiped out in an instant. We must leave for Alderaan. Now. The greatest weapon to smash the rebellion. That's how Grand Moff Tarkin described the Death Star, and so far, his description has been more than accurate. It laid waste to the people of Jeddah, wiped clean a mistake made on the planet of Scarif, and now its ultimate show of might has been completed. The planet of Alderaan, long believed as being a planet that birthed the distasteful rebellion, has been wiped from existence, only continuing in memory for those who cared enough to. Darth Vader was present to witness 2 of the 3 uses of the weapon, and though he had his own doubts, he has come to respect the awesome power of the terror-inducing weapon. He stood within the viewport, watching the space that used to be known as the world of Alderaan, as an Imperial officer gave way to news the Dark Lord wasn't expecting. Lord Vader, our technicians have intercepted a message from the world of Alderaan shortly before the destruction. After reviewing, we figured it's best you see its contents.
Send it to my chambers. I shall view it there.
Vader marched to his personal quarters. His steps echoed the halls of the Death Star. He stood over a hollow table as the image of Bail Organa illuminated the area around him. It was only after the message finished that Vader felt a swell of emotions burst within him. His fists gripped tightly as he uttered one name.
Kenobi.